Okay.
Prios turns into crayon.
I don't even know. Salam, everyone.
Walaikum salam.
How's it going, Ibrahim?
Going pretty well, alhamdulillah. I've had a good day.
Alhamdulillah, that's awesome.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
All right, who else is on here?
Does anyone who's on so far want to share anything for their experience with Ramadan so far? If so, just raise your hand and I can unmute you. Or just wants to talk. You don't have to talk about Ramadan. Any of you guys? No? Oh, dang, we should, yeah.
Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick update, guys. If you won the Amazon gift cards, they were sent out that night or the very next morning. They were sent to your personal email. I'm still waiting for Amar Fahim to click receive in his email, as well as K. Suleiman 2003. That should be Muhammad Ashtui. Is there another one there?
So I think they're talking about, yeah, well, me and Muaz need to figure that out. They're talking about the Kahoot. Me and Muaz, we're planning on sending out money for the top 3 for that. So we need to let me talk to them directly. Can you guys, do we have their emails? Are we able, I do have their emails, right? Like Noor and Ayan. We should have everyone's email, right? Their personal email.
Yeah, I'll show it to you later on.
Yeah, if you could, yeah. Sorry, I never asked for it. My bad. Sorry, guys. I apologize for the delay.
Amar Fahim, have you checked your email since last week? You should have received a $15 gift card for Amazon. Can you let him talk?
Oh yeah. Actually, I think only Amar can do that today. He's the host.
Okay, can you type it in the chat, Amar?
I think he can talk now.
Yeah. I received I received the gift card, and yeah, I've checked most of the emails. I think, yeah.
Okay, because I have somebody else that shows me that that they received it, so they click on it. So the status for you shows it's sent, but not yet received. So anyway, okay, I'm glad you see it and everything. So inshallah. If you have any problems, just let me know.
Okay, sure.
Omar, can you let us turn our cameras on? Because we can't right now. There we go.
Again, we should end at 7 p.m. inshallah. That's our goal. If you need to leave earlier, then that's fine, you can. But 6 to 7 is what we're aiming for, inshallah.
We realize that the Kahoot sometimes goes a bit over, so we have like about 10 questions instead of 15 today.
Yeah, Kahoot's a little shorter today. It's not rigged like last time either.
Yeah.
It's funny. We'll go ahead and start in 1 minute, inshallah. Ibrahim, or not Ibrahim, Ismail, you have the Kahoot, right?
Yeah.
All right.
We go straight into that, or do you want to? We can go. We can go into that.
While we wait for people to roll in or to get the Kahoot roll, go ahead and mute it. Yeah. I was just gonna ask, what's everyone's like favorite memory so far of Ramadan or moment of Ramadan? Because obviously it's been different this year, but what's everyone's like, kind of like standout moment or something that they really liked so far? Like mine, for example, was like the like being able to like have like more time to like read Quran, and I started reading the Sirah again, because usually with like school and whatnot, you don't have time for that. So that gave me time to do that. Yaqub said food. Yeah, that's a good one as well. Yeah, yeah. First, yeah, that's true. Moms go crazy on the first day. I swear. Rashid closer to Allah. Yeah. I swear, like it's cool because like when you're at home, you don't really have those kind of like distractions and whatnot of school and other things. So you really have that time to you know, to focus on like your relationship with Allah and whatnot. Ahmad wants to say something. Ismail, can you promote Ahmad or unmute his mic? Your mic's muted.
I think
Yeah,
Omar
I
can,
mean-
he's the only person who can promote people today because he's hosting.
Okay.
But Omar, can you also allow me to share my screen?
Huh?
Can you allow me to share? Omar,
Ahmad,
not
what
able
did you
to.
say?
No. Yeah, similarly here. Last year I couldn't really memorize my surah and like other stuff, but like this year at home, like since I'm at home, I can like memorize my surah stuff.
That's true. It gives you a lot more time to like
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff.
Mm.
That's true. Yusuf, do you have like school like you have to be like in classes, or is it just kind of like you've set that time aside for school? Because I'm pretty like all of us are in online school, but like do you actually have to be in classes from 8 to 3? Dang, that's rough. What time are you guys waking up? That's the real question. What time are you guys waking up now? 3 o'clock?
Wow, from 3?
What time do you guys wake up?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
So like I have work starting like 8 a.m. So I need to like be like really smart about how I like sleep.
Yeah.
Like I try to wake up before Fajr, and just do some salah and pray, and then get some suhoor, and then I just like sit down after Fajr, for like maybe an hour or so, read Quran, and then I try to go back to sleep for like 2 or 3 hours.
Okay.
That's kind of like what I've been going with.
See, Yusuf 7:20. It's crazy. Ryan 1:30. I feel that 10 a.m. before Fajr. 6 a.m. on Mondays. That's crazy. 10 a.m. Wake up at 3 for suhoor and then wake up at like 8. Okay. Noor woke up an hour ago. Okay. Zach wakes up at 10, 5, 6. Okay. So either super early birds or just like wake up at 4 or 5. Ibrahim, what about you?
I've been trying to wake up at 3:30 a.m. every day, and then staying up until like noon-ish, and then having a nap.
Okay.
And so the thing is, I've been like off and on with that because I realized to do that I have to go to sleep at like early, like 9 or 10 in the evening. And so with homework and school and stuff, that's a little challenging. And so
Yeah. No, I feel that.
yeah. How about you?
Mine's all over the place, dude. Like I had it set in the beginning of Ramadan where like I was gonna wake up early to get all my work done, and I'm waking up at like 1, 2 p.m. now. Like I can't, like I usually just stay up till Fajr. Like I don't go to sleep before suhoor. And yeah, it is what it is.
I think I did that last year when I was on campus.
Yeah, it's bad.
It did not go well for me.
Early, but like I'll set my alarm at 10 and literally snooze it for 2 hours. Like I
Yep.
can't. All right, guys. There's the game pin for the Kahoot. Go ahead and join.
Join in what is good.
Yusuf gets 3 hours of sleep. That's not good, man. Sleep's important.
Also, last week the Q&A was pretty successful. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and submit while we're talking. If you think of anything, just go ahead and submit it there. We'll try to answer it.
Yeah, Omar, if you're good enough, you can definitely win again. I don't think we're doing prizes this time. You guys are rinsing us some money, but no, you can definitely win again. That'd be pretty impressive. Actually, I want to see you win again. That'd be pretty cool. Arma didn't get his gift card. Yeah, we're still working. I think.
Yeah, I'm about to. If you guys can send, I'm messaging you guys directly. If you want to send your emails, Noor, Omar, and who was the third person? Ayan.
Send Ismail your email, like on a personal chat, and he'll send them to you guys. All right, we got 13 people so far. Go ahead and join if you haven't already. We have 16 attendees, so we're missing a couple people. We'll give another
Sound
30.
like a valid email. Ammar.
Okay.
What's a BSD email?
Is that
School district?
a school district?
Oh, I didn't realize.
We're waiting on 2 people. If you haven't joined yet, make sure to join. 30 more seconds, inshallah.
All right, thanks for sending your email, guys. Go ahead and send that, inshallah.
So 15 players and 16 attendees. So
Are we
let's see
waiting on
numbers.
anyone? Anyone just put in the chat if you haven't joined yet, or if it's not working or something, or else we're just gonna start. Boom, boom. There we go. Okay, there's 16. All right, that should be everyone. All right, let's do it.
All right.
You guys have a good chance of winning today. Not that much competition.
Yeah. All right. So do you, Ibrahim,
Wait,
do you
wait.
have one?
We have Zakaria. He's asking us to wait because he's downloading the app. You don't have to install the Kahoot app. If you go to
your browser.
yeah, it's kahoot.it. Let me type in a chat just in case. Alaikum assalam.
Are we good to go? Did
There we go. There's Zach.
Perfect.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's start. Bismillah. Ibrahim, do you want to talk about the topic for today, or we're just going to go straight into the Kahoot? Do you think the questions are well?
I do. I think they're a very nice compliment.
Let's go. Let's go ahead and start.
Go for it.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right. All right.
You want to read out the question?
Yeah. Islam is meant to be okay. Islam is meant to be a set of tasks that you do without really thinking about why you're doing them. All right. How many people do we have, by the way? Are we expecting 16 answers?
17.
17.
Not sure how, but. So that's false. Them is not, you're not supposed to not think about what you're doing, right? We're supposed to think about it, and we're given, reasons as to why we do things. So most of you guys got that one correct, but yeah.
Oh, dang.
The lead again. Okay.
Come on, y'all got to catch up.
So true or false? Facing the Qibla, having wudu, and making all the movements of Salah is all you need for Salah to be accepted.
Think about this one.
Facing the Qibla, having wudu, and making all the movements.
You got to think about what else is it important? What else is important during Salah? Are you just moving up and down, or are you actually thinking? Okay, that's good. All right, so some of the things that you can think about, actually, I think we're covering that in the next question. So let's just go ahead to the next question. Oh my God.
Ryan in the top 5, okay.
Yusuf's in second place. Adam Ahmed, okay.
All right, next question. So, multi-select. What do you need to do for your Salah to be accepted? Select.
Ooh.
Okay, nice. So
good job, everyone.
Got that. All right. Can everyone still see my screen?
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and see if the Zoom got messed up? I don't know if it looks kind of different from here.
What do you mean? Is the screen really big?
The text is really small.
Okay.
Compared to. Try pressing.
Yusuf beat Omar.
Press the full screen button.
Yeah, so I am in full screen, but the problem is I have my computer on my TV. So is this better?
Yeah.
Okay. I meant the little arrows that are on the.
That works though, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's better. Definitely better.
Okay.
All right. Next question. Allah prescribes fasting upon us in Surah Ali Imran.
I don't see anything. You guys see anything?
Yeah.
Oh, you don't see anything?
Yeah,
No.
stop refreshing.
Still on the leaderboard. Oh, there it is. See if this ends at 7, inshallah. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah, I tried to throw you guys a curveball. Let's see who got it. Let's see if
Hold on, before you say, does anyone know what surah it is sent on? Does anyone want to put it in the chat?
Hint, the ayah is يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون.
Yep, Surah Al-Baqarah.
Good.
All right, next one. True or false? Ramadan is the only time where fasting is recommended.
Think of what the Rasul would do.
All right, false.
That was quick.
You guys got this. Yeah, it's pretty fast. All right.
Ooh,
So Adam's in the lead.
Okay. Next question. What simple reason does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give for fasting in the ayah where he prescribes fasting?
Select one. Yeah.
لعلكم تتقون.
So that you may pray thoroughly. That's funny.
I was gonna do so that you may lose weight, but I was like,
Oh wow.
Wow, that's the first time that everyone has got the right answer. That's awesome.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm rewarding
I'm streaking in the lead.
Ahmed.
Ahmed's also right there.
All right, multi-select. What other reasons can you list for fasting in Ramadan? Select all that apply.
Look at all these answers.
Losing weight, is that, I don't know if that's a trick one or
It's
not.
a reason. I mean, the question, the previous question was like, why does Allah prescribe fasting upon us? So this is like a continuation.
I think I've lost like 15 pounds so far.
Already?
You did him dirty, Loki.
Well, actually, no. Since the gym's closed, I was 180. Now I'm 165.
Ooh.
Nice.
Dude, I would have put losing weight, honestly. Oh, wow. Adam dropped 4 spots.
Killing it.
Ahmed's.
Ayan's creeping up too.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can finish top 3 again.
How many questions are left?
Got
3 more.
questions.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala intends ease for you in Ramadan, not hardship.
Should be a pretty easy one. Yeah. Oh,
Good.
This is in that same ayah in Surah Al-Baqarah about Shahr Ramadan. Allah, يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. You might think that it's hard, but inshallah, if you have the right intention and you do it with ihsan, Allah will reward you for that, and it'll become easier, and it actually might become, it's like something that you enjoy doing. Next question. Multi-select, so multiple options. In Surah Baqarah ayah 177, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that righteousness means doing what? Select all that applies. DOJ is Day of Judgment, not Department of Justice.
I didn't even realize that.
Oh, that's a hard one.
So this is all in one ayah.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the next one, I believe this is Ayan's in the lead.
Wow.
All right.
Ooh. Last chance.
In the ayah immediately following the ayah about Ramadan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions that He is near when we make dua. True or false?
إذا سألك عبادي عني فإني. It's a hint.
It's true. They don't.
I should have done the ayah immediately before. I could have seen
Oh, that.
it.
I approve.
All right.
Technically, it's also in the middle because.
Yeah, that's true. There is but oh yeah, true.
أحلت لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث. Although it's about siyam in general.
Yeah, that's true.
That works.
So actually, there's one thing I don't know. Maybe I was gonna share this, but I don't know if you were gonna talk about this, Ibrahim. Were you gonna talk about the for khushur, like the man who once came to the masjid and the Prophet saw him praying? You know,
Go for it.
That story. So there's a man who came to the masjid and he started praying, and then he said salam to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And then the Prophet said, go back. Wa alaikum salam. He said, wa alaikum salam, go back, you haven't prayed. And he did that 3 times. And then the man came back to him and said, why do you keep saying that? And the Prophet Muhammad actually said, the reason why, I have it here somewhere. He said, when you go pray, say takbir, then recite wherever you can the Quran, then bow until you are at ease in bowing, then rise until you are standing up straight, then prostrate until you are at ease in prostration, then sit up until you are at ease in sitting, then do that throughout the entire prayer. So what Prophet Muhammad meant here is when he said you are at ease in bowing, it basically means that you're steady, you're stable, that you're not like zipping through salah, that you're just like moving through your motions, like without actually like sitting down and thinking about it. So that's just a reminder. I think that's relevant to share. I don't know if you're going to share it. I guess not, Ibrahim. But anyway, I'm going to hand it over to Ibrahim, who's prepared, I'm sure, an amazing talk for us, as he always does.
Inshallah.
Ibrahim for doing that. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen too.
Omar, can you allow me to share my screen?
You should be able to.
Oh, yes, I can right now. Thank you.
Yep.
Can you all see my slide?
Yes, sir.
Alhamdulillah.
Wait, who won, by the way?
You good question.
Yeah, I forgot.
Dude, you gotta give him the credit.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, sorry. My bad. I didn't even go to the next screen.
I used that slide theme in my third grade science fair project, I think.
Oh, really?
Hold up. Go
Yeah.
back.
It's my first time seeing it, and I really like it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Go back and see who won real quick.
Yeah. So I can say it, but then Ibrahim's gonna have to stop sharing his screen.
Put it in the chat.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I got you.
All right.
All right, never mind.
There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
There we go.
I can't believe I forgot.
And first, Ahmed close in on second, Sufyan in third. Okay. Pretty sure Ryan got fourth. Omar, where were you? You said you were gonna win. Omar Qasabian, disappointed.
I think he fell off or forgot which question.
He was in first place in the very first question, and then he fell like to fifth the next question after.
All right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. All right. Do you guys all see the screen?
Yes, sir.
رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي إن شاء الله. All right, so inshallah this week I'm going to talk about a lot of the topics that were mentioned in the Kahoot. And so especially the two ayat that were mentioned, ayah 177 and 186 of Al-Baqarah. And the reason for why I chose those ayat is because the more I read the Quran, the more I realize that, there's a very deep structure behind it. It took me at least a lot of reading over the same ayat over and over again, like for me to scratch the surface of that structure. And so inshallah today I want to talk about the structure around the ayah about Ramadan, which is ayah 185. And so in doing that, it should give us some insight about what this month is actually about, and how we can apply the month of Ramadan in our lives. All right, so next slide, inshallah. All right, let me get this out of the way so I can see. All right, so the first ayah was mentioned, or Ismail mentioned this in the Kahoot, and as you can see, it's pretty long. And so I'm just going to read the English for the sake of time. And so this is the 177th ayah of Al-Baqarah. And so righteousness is not in turning your face towards the east or the west. Rather, the righteous are those who believe in Allah, the last day, the angels, the books, and the prophets, who give charity out of their cherished wealth to relatives, to orphans, to beggars, and for the freeing of captives, who establish prayer, who pay charity, and keep the pledges they make, and who are patient in times of suffering, adversity, and in the heat of battle. It is they who are true in faith, and it is they who are mindful of Allah. Right? So there's a lot to unpack in this ayah, right? It's pretty long. And so I've divided, so let's go in the first part, which is just in the first sentence of this ayah. So, right. So righteousness is not in turning your face towards the east or the west. Oops. Whoa. Hold on. I accidentally skipped to the end of the thing. So give me a second. Can you guys see my screen? Or just see the slide? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so what does it mean what is the Quran talking about when it's talking about turning your face towards the east or the west? And it's not righteousness. And so this is a reference going back to a previous ayah of the same surah, which is ayah 142, which says, the foolish among the people will ask, why did they turn away from the direction of prayer that they used to face? Say, the east and west belong only to Allah. He guides whoever he wills to the straight path. And so this ayah is referencing when the direction of prayer, the Ibla, it was changed from Jerusalem to Mecca. And so the non-Muslims, right, they would see this And they would ask in a very, demeaning way, how come you guys changed that direction of prayer, right? Isn't the original prayer, isn't the original direction from Allah? Why is Allah suddenly changing his mind? Why is your Allah, doing this? And so the response is the east and west, all directions belong only to Allah. He guides whoever he wills to the straight path. And so I bring this up because, well, not only to connect, the east and west to the east and west of this ayah, but now the reference to the east and west is talking about prayer. And so to connect these ideas together, righteousness in prayer is not about turning your face towards the east or west. And so now the question is, what is the point of prayer about which direction you're facing? And so I want you guys to think and reflect on that point, or on that question for a bit, and I'm going to come back to it at the end, inshallah. And so I've divided the next part of this ayah into three chunks. And so the first part is, so after the first sentence, rather the righteous are those who believe in Allah, the last day, the angels, the book, and the prophets. All right, so righteousness, so here they are: Allah, the last day, the angels, the books, and the prophets. So something I want to mention quickly is that a lot of us understand belief, right, as knowledge about something. So if you believe in Allah, you know Allah exists. If you believe in the angels, you know the angels exist. And so now I want to ask a question. Iblis, the shaitan, doesn't he know that Allah exists? Doesn't he know that the day of judgment exists, and the angels, the books, the prophets? He knows that they all exist, right? So does he have belief? And so the question now to ask is, what is belief? Is it only about knowledge? And so to answer this question, let's look back on what belief in Allah and all these things actually mean. When you believe in Allah, what is it that you realize? You realize that Allah has created everything. You, the world around you, He was with you through every point in life, and that He is going to raise you up on the day of judgment, the last day. He sees you through everything that you do. When you believe in the last day, what do you realize? You realize that you will be held accountable for all your actions on the day of judgment. Nothing will be kept secret from Allah. Allah will look at you as a whole person, and He will hold you accountable for all the good and all the bad that you've done. Right? Belief in the angels. What do you realize when you believe in the angels? You believe in the full entirety of the creation of Allah, even the ones that you don't see. Right? If you guys have taken any physics classes or science classes, and you've looked at, the light spectrum, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, violet, or whatever, you guys realize that of what is considered light, the visible light spectrum is really tiny. Like if my entire screen was all possible light, the light that we see is like thinner than my finger, and we actually don't see most of the world. And so this is what belief in the angels is like. You're realizing that you believe in the entire creation of Allah. And so the same thing with the books, the same thing with the prophets. We believe in Allah's guidance. And so this is what true belief is about. But when it comes to righteousness, it doesn't end there. There's another part to this. Right? So those who give charity out of their cherished wealth to their relatives, orphans, and the beggars, and for freeing captives. All right, and so here they are, giving what you love to your family members, to orphans, to beggars, and for the freeing of captives. And so what ties all these things together? I'm going to give you guys a minute to think and reflect on the question. So there could be many answers to this, but the one that I want to emphasize is with each of these examples, they're all people who aren't you. All right. So in the first part of this, ayah, we're talking about your belief in Allah, your belief in the last day, your belief in the angels, the books, and the prophets. Now we're talking about other people. You're being aware of your family members, the orphans, the beggars, the captives. You have to be aware of your surroundings to be righteous in this way. And on top of that, you have to be humble, right? You have to, so it's really easy to have a love for money because money gives us the pleasures of this life. And so what does Allah say righteousness is about? It's about giving some of our worldly pleasure for the sake of other people, for the sake of your family members, for the orphans who don't even have family members, for beggars who don't even have money or have financial security, and for the captives who don't even have the freedom to walk about, right? What ties all these things together is a notion of selflessness, of caring about other people and giving from what you have for their sake. And when you do that, obviously it's for Allah's sake as well. And so lastly, this is the last section of what defines righteousness in this ayah, is those who establish prayer, who pay charity, keep the pledges they make, and who are patient in times of suffering, adversity, and in battle. All right, so righteousness is establishing prayer, paying charity, honoring your promises, and being patient in times of stress, suffering, adversity, battle. All of them together as stress. So what ties all these things together? I'll give you guys a minute to think and reflect on that. This one took me a little bit longer than actually the other ones. I had to think about this part a bit longer. So let's start with prayer. When you establish prayer, do you pray Fajr and Dhuhr and Asr and Maghrib and Isha for one day? And is your obligation for prayer over all of a sudden? And so obviously, your answer is no. We're told that with every single day that we live, we establish our prayer, right? Does that pattern appear with giving charity? Do you give charity one time during 1 year and all of a sudden you don't have to pay charity again? No. With every single year, with every single opportunity, if you have extra money that you don't need, if you see people that need it more than you, those are all opportunities to give charity. All right. So we're seeing a pattern now. It's with the prayer and charity. It's not just a one-time thing. It's something you do consistently over time. And so does that pattern appear with the other two? When you make your promises, when you honor your promises, right? Is it just after the first promise? Like, do you only make one promise in your entire life that you have to honor? Or with all your promises, do you have to honor them, right? Being consistent with that. Same thing with being patient. Is there only one thing in life that causes stress, and all you have to do is just be patient in that one time, and then in the rest of your life, you don't have to be patient at all? No, of course not. Throughout our entire lives, there's always going to be tests and obstacles, right? I'm in the time of, I have my midterms right now, and so life is pretty busy for me right now, and it's getting hard to manage everything. I have to be patient in that time, right? You guys are going to have tests and finals. You guys have your lives, right? Being with each of these aspects, we're asked to be patient. And so what ties all of these things together? It's a notion of consistency. None of these things, you just do it. It's not a one and done deal. With each of these things, you consistently do it throughout your entire life. And this is an aspect of being righteous. And so after the ayah describes all these things about what it means to be righteous, it finishes by saying it is they who are true in faith, and it is they who are mindful of Allah, right? Who have that awareness of Allah. So let's go back and see what we talked about, what righteousness was about. Okay, the righteous are those who are aware of Allah and the unseen. Right, it was the first category. Right, and that awareness means they know that they will be held accountable for their actions, and that Allah is always in control. This is the first part. The second part is that they're being selfless, right? They're being aware of others and helping them during their time of need, being aware of other people and not just yourself, right? And the third part is being consistent. You're consistent with all these things that you do, right? It's not one and done. You're constantly doing this throughout your entire life, right? And so what ties all these things together? This is what being true in faith, this is what a true Muslim does. All of these things. This is what a true Muslim is, one who is righteous. And this is the definition of righteousness right here. And so what does this have to do with Ramadan? I'm sure a lot of you are asking that question. So the entire theme of our halaqas every week is Ramadan themed. And I haven't talked about that at all yet. And so here's where I'll be doing that. So what ties what I just talked about with Ramadan? And so let me put the definition of righteousness on the screen. So who are the righteous? Who are aware of Allah and the unseen, who are those who are selfless, and those who are consistent in their practice of Islam and all these things. So what is Ramadan? What is Ramadan about? Okay, for me, the first thing that came to mind was, okay, what do I do in this month? I know I try to read Quran more. I know I try to do more prayers and make sure I pray all of them on time. And so when I think about that, if I were to summarize that, Ramadan, something that Ramadan would be for me about is increasing my awareness of Allah, because that's what happens when I read Quran and pray more consistently. So I put here, Ramadan is about increasing your awareness of Allah. And I know a lot of us do that, right? What else is Ramadan about? I know I've heard a lot of emphasis about, giving charity. Fasting, when you fast, you're now aware of the pain that so many people around the world have to go through, right? Even they don't have the food that we have, right? And fasting helps us become more aware of that. And on top of that, all the good deeds that we do in this month are multiplied. So every charity we do is also multiplied. And so I've heard a lot of emphasis on charity and being aware of others. And so what is Ramadan about? Increasing our awareness of those around us. And so now, personally, I started seeing a pattern now. Now, the definition of righteousness matches what we're supposed to be doing, the things that we're supposed to be emphasizing in Ramadan. And so the consistency one was the clearest connection that I've made. Because in Ramadan, you're supposed to consistently fast for 30 days. You're not supposed to falter for one day, not even one day. And we've talked about this a lot last week, especially. Ramadan is about building habits. And what are habits all about? What are good habits all about? They're about being consistent, consistency. Because if you're not consistent, it's not a habit, right? And so Ramadan is about increasing your self-control, breaking bad habits and building good habits. So Ramadan is about increasing your consistency with the good things. All right. So looking at these two lists, it's really clear to see a connection. And realize this ayah that defines righteousness appears a couple ayat right before the ayah about Ramadan. And so this ayah isn't there by accident, right? This is what connects these two ideas together. All right. So Ramadan, as I said, is about increasing our righteousness. So now I promised earlier that I'd get back to this point, that the first part of this ayah, that righteousness is not about turning our face towards the east or the west. And so something I want to mention quickly is a bit of insight on the structure of the Quran. And I bring up Quran, the 26th ayah of Al-Baqarah, at the very beginning, where Allah says here, Allah surely doesn't shy away from using the example of a mosquito or what is even smaller, right? Allah uses examples, and it doesn't matter how big or how small, He uses examples to make points, right? And I've learned this especially in my reading of the Quran, but the entire Quran uses examples to make a point. We have the example of Prophet Ibrahim and the test that he went through. We have the examples of all the stories in the Quran. We have the examples of Ramadan. We have so many examples in the Quran that make you think, right? And so let's talk about this ayah about righteousness, right? And how we connected it to prayer earlier. So the conclusion that I've come up with is that prayer, the point of prayer isn't about, whether my head is turned this way or this way, right? Even though Allah, obviously we're supposed to do things in a certain physical way when we pray, the point of prayer is your intention behind doing the physical things, right? Allah is judging us by our intention. And so the purpose of prayer is to increase our own iman, right? And when we do that, when we increase our own iman, we realize Allah commanded us to pray in a certain way. And so we pray in that way. And so it's a constant feedback loop. We pray the way Allah wants us to do, and so we get rewarded by our iman. And because we increase our iman, we pray more the way Allah wants us to. And so it's a positive feedback loop. All right. And so to use this example of prayer, let's connect that now to fasting in Ramadan. So what's fasting really about? Let's look at the most physical aspect about fasting, which is not eating and drinking. Is fasting just about not eating and drinking? Those of you who are following the Cahoots and who are paying attention in the previous weeks know the answer to this question. Even though we don't eat or drink during Ramadan, fasting is not about not eating and drinking. It's not about losing weight, all right? It's not about, looking good for other people. Fasting, especially in Ramadan, is about attaining self-control, increasing the power on your own body, right? And so that's the point of fasting, not, just not eating and drinking. Obviously, there's benefits to that, but what Allah is looking for is how we take advantage of our fast, right? And so the point that I wanted to make now is that this ayah about righteousness, it helps explain many things, right? It defines what righteousness is, and it connects the idea. It teaches us the purpose behind praying, right? Praying is about your intention behind it. And so now, because we know that the Quran uses examples to make points, we're now using the example of prayer. We're using the example of righteousness to help us understand what now the rest of Islam is about. So what fasting is really about. So fasting is about our intention behind it. Do you have the intention to be more righteous? Have you made the intention to become more aware of Allah? Have you made the intention to be more aware of the people around you and helping them during times of need? Have you made the intention to build good habits, right? This is what the Quran is saying righteousness is all about. And by proxy, Ramadan is all about being righteous. And so Ramadan is all about increasing all these things. And so the last thing I want to mention is the ayah now after the ayah about Ramadan. And it's the last thing I'm going to mention. And this goes, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ فَلْيَسْتَجِيبُوا لِي وَلْيُؤْمِنُوا بِي لَعَلَّهُمْ يَرْشُدُونَ. When my servants ask you about me, I am truly near. I respond to anyone's prayer when they call upon me. So let them respond to me and believe in me, so perhaps they will be guided. Right? So this is a beautiful ayah, right? It teaches us that Allah is always with us. Allah answers all of our prayers because He's always near to us. And what does Allah want us to do in return? Now to respond to Him. To when He asks us to do something, we respond to Him now, just like He's responding to us, and believe in Him. Because when we do that, then we will gain the guidance that's mentioned here. And so while this is a beautiful ayah, I want to make one more point. If this is what Allah is normally during any time of the year, right? What do you think Allah is going to do for us during Ramadan when everything is multiplied? If Allah at any point in time is always there to respond to our prayers, right? And to be near to us, who is He going to be during Ramadan? We have so many examples, right? We have in the Sunnah, we have examples of how just doing one tasbih for Allah, it's as if doing 1,000, right? Any good deed you do is multiplied by 10. We have so many examples of this. So if this is what Allah is to us is during the normal time of the year, just think about it, just reflect on this, who He's going to be for us during Ramadan. And all He's asking us to do is to be righteous. Isn't that beautiful? Alhamdulillah. Okay, and so now to give just a recap. Omar, am I able to have people answer questions out loud, or should I just?
Yes, if they're on the latest version of Zoom. If not, it gets complicated. So
All right, I'll just give a recap then.
alright. We could. Do you want to do it in the chat, maybe?
Oh, sure. I can't. I don't think I can see the chat though.
Oh, okay. Do you want me to share your PowerPoint while you do that?
Are you able to do that?
Yeah, I'll download it from the drive real quick. Give me a second.
We have enough time. Yes, we do. Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Right, and it's slide number 11.
What about just having them like raise their hand if
Sir.
they want to answer? I can
Um,
promote them.
all right. Do you want to? All right. I will share that. And there we go.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yes.
All right.
And so now I can access the chat. All right. So if you click a space for enter, I can see the question. All right. So I want you guys to answer in the chat from what you guys have learned from what I've said. What is righteousness all about? Is it about the angle of your head during prayer, if it's this or this or this? Or
Ammar, can you please type it in the chat? I saw your raised hand, but I'm not gonna be having people as panelists.
having correct intentions during prayer? Good. It's about intention and a lot more. Yes. All right, Omar, if you want to go through the bullet points.
All right. So, do you want to read them out?
Sure.
All right.
So being aware of Allah and the unseen. Yes. I see your answer in the chat. Having khushua. Yeah. So being aware of Allah and the unseen. Giving to people who need it more than you. Yes. Having true faith in what Allah has prescribed. Amazing. Knowing that you'll be held accountable for your actions. Right? You're aware Allah is always watching. Then being selfless, being aware of others and helping them. Right? You're aware that you're not the center of the universe, right? There's people around you who are less fortunate than you, right? Being righteous about being aware of them and helping them out. And then lastly, being consistent, being giving. Yes, I see that. So being consistent and building good habits. All right. So now, last question. So what is Ramadan about? Now that we know what being righteous is about.
Do you guys want to put that in the chat real quick?
Patience, good. Increasing your consistency with being righteous, amazing. Following the rules with good intentions, yes, perfect. Improving yourself.
Remember the ayah from the beginning.
Improving yourself and your self-discipline, yes, improving self-control over your own body, right? Not letting your body control you, rather you control your body. Fasting in the name of Allah, being righteous, and also meaning control, getting closer to everything, to everyone else, and being in control. Good. And developing healthier habits. It's amazing. All right, Omar. All right, so Ramadan, increasing in righteousness. A lot of you said, every one of you said that. All right. So now, the real question is now, having all this knowledge is good, but it doesn't benefit anyone if you don't practice it. So now, how can you increase in righteousness? I want to hear your guys' thoughts. What do you guys think that you guys can do during this month to increase your righteousness? What specific actions can you guys do? Selfless acts within your family, yes, being more aware. Being more aware of Allah, good. Writing notes, looking at it every day, yes, that's amazing for being more aware. Not only read, but understanding the Quran, yes, that is one I hold really dear to my heart. Find as many good connections with Allah to see how generous He is, yes. A good way to do that is to, just like every day, say 10 things that you are thankful for, and try to see how many days it takes until you have to say something that you've already said. Set goals, good. Set goals to improve your good habits and to break your bad habits. Give to those who are less fortunate, yes. Read more Quran. Being more courteous and more selfless, that's amazing. All right. Last slide, Omar. So I want to end with this ayah from the Quran, and it's the 60th ayah of Surah Ar-Rahman, which is هل جزاء الإحسان إلا الإحسان. And so this actually is a different word than the word used in the ayah in Al-Baqarah, which is al-bir, but al-ihsan is well, I'm not an Arabic linguist, but it's close in meaning. It's close enough in meaning for our purposes. And so, is there any reward for good, for righteousness, except for righteousness? Is there any reward for doing good, except for good happening back to you?
Yeah, and one side note, ihsan also is better translated to like excellence. So in this case, it'd be like excellent
okay.
righteousness. So it'd be like being the most righteous, or just being like perfecting righteousness.
I appreciate that, Omar. Thank you. That is good info for me to know now. All right, and there's one more tap, Omar. I hope you all learned something and benefited from it. And I want you guys to try and, focus on one thing, just one thing, and then make that the goal in this month to improve. And once you get that one thing, you add another thing, and you keep that going so that after this month is over, you've built good habits to last you the entire year.
All right. We're gonna go into questions, but real quick before we go into questions, I have a little surprise. So if you guys remember Muaz's video about what was it about? The reward that you can get in Ramadan. If you haven't watched that, go ahead and watch that. It's both on Sons of Adam's channels as well as Islamic Thought. The next video we're gonna have is brought to you by Khalid. And as you can tell by the title, it's about being like the Prophet. So a little quick overview. This video is going to be about different things that the Rasul would do during Ramadan and different hadith that help you get the most out of your Ramadan, inshallah. And with that, I'm going to pass it down to the panelists. for questions. We already have one. If you guys want to check, or would you like me to read it out? Fine
Yeah.
with either way.
I can read it out.
All right. So the question was, can you have iftar with non-Muslims, or is it forbidden? My friend asked me to have iftar with asked to have iftar with me, and I blanked. Pretty good question. Just does anyone want to handle it, or do you guys want me to give quick thought?
Right off the bat, I think I will for one, it's definitely allowed. In fact, it's actually probably I would encourage it. Obviously, not every single day, but I would encourage to do it like once or twice during Ramadan, just to invite your friends. Hey, tell them I'm fasting this month. You want to go out and grab dinner together, and that way it's kind of like a good form of dawah. Like they're gonna start asking questions. They're gonna be like, "What? You haven't eaten since like 3 a.m. or whatever it is that you."
No water?
Yeah, no water, exactly. Not even water. Like those types of questions. Like it's really good dawah. It's a really good opportunity for you to teach people about your deen, for them to understand you better, for you to understand what other people think about your deen better, and kind of gives you a really good perspective. So in fact, I like heavily encourage at least doing it like once or twice, to give people that perspective, right off the bat.
I definitely agree with Ismail, but I'd have to ask one question and just ask, who is it, right? Who is your friend that you're going and having dinner with? And is it like, is it like their family's inviting you over, or is it just like you and your friend? Is your friend a guy? Is it a guy friend? Is it a girlfriend? Right? Like it's important also to know seriously like who it is, right? If it's one of your guy friends, right, and they're interested in whatnot, and or they invite you for dinner, by all means go ahead. It's not, we don't hate non-Muslims, right? Astaghfirullah, of course not, right? And in fact, like Ismail said, it's a good form of dawah. But like you got to be like honest with yourself too, right? Obviously, if it is a girl friend, you know, I definitely would not advise going to get iftar with them, right? Especially during a month like Ramadan. You shouldn't
So
be, regardless, but especially Ramadan.
he's saying he's like a brother for my family who asked the question. So
Okay.
it's like a really close brother to him, or like a really close friend to him. Absolutely, yeah.
By all means, go for it, of course.
Yeah,
And again, like one other thing is that Maaz, you started mentioning, but if you think that you're going to have dinner with them and you don't think that you think you're gonna miss Maghrib, or you think that you won't be able to pray Tarawih or something or whatever, or like they're basically taking you away from dhikr in this blessed month, then try to tell them, hey, I can only spend like 20-30 minutes with you, and then I have to go pray Maghrib or whatever. Like make sure that it's someone that you're comfortable around, being able to like practice your religion freely. Don't let it be like something that you're shy about. Like make it clear, like or be proud about it. And we've talked about this in halaqat. Like just be proud about your Islam.
Yeah, and one last thing I want to add is actually good answers from everyone, jazakallah khair. But one last thing is make sure that it's not like an everyday thing, all right? Your family obviously also has a right on you, and that's joining them for iftar is one of the most important things in Ramadan. Um, just being with your family, spending that iftar time with them. I'm sure that your mom or dad who's probably standing and cooking iftar for you probably would love to have you at the table. So just make sure it's not an everyday thing. Also, you shouldn't be hanging out with friends during quarantine. So
Facts.
yeah, it's good advice for Ramadan in general, but right now I would say you probably shouldn't be having iftar with your friends.
It's funny. All right.
All right, so we got a raised hand from Ibrahim Abu Saud. You're now allowed to talk if you want to unmute yourself. Or I can unmute you.
So while you're doing that, someone asked in the chat right now, what were the exemptions of not fasting again? So in that ayah in the Quran where Allah talks about the month of Ramadan, Allah says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من القرآن فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصم ومن كان مريضا, which means sick, أو على سفر, or who's traveling, أو على سفر, what's after that?
عدة من أيام أخرى.
Yeah, so you fast.
It's basically if you're sick, if you're traveling, or if you're pregnant. None of you guys are pregnant. None of you guys are traveling. And sick is like if you're, I mean, I'm not going to judge your level of sickness, but if it's a little cough, you should still fast. But if you're sick where you need to take like medicine or something, or then that can, you don't have to fast in that case. All right, we, inshallah, if no one else has any other questions, I think we're going to move into the raffle for the gift cards. We have three $15 Amazon gift cards, inshallah.
There's one more question about how far for travel. So I'm assuming that means what's the distance of traveling so that you don't have to fast, I think is the question.
That's a good
So do you guys know the distance for being able to pray like what's it called?
Jaman Qasr.
Yeah, Gama Qasr, basically 2 rak'ahs instead of 4, and praying Dhuhr and Asr together and Maghrib and Isha together. I um I think it's the same as that distance. Also, if you don't get like a straightforward answer, I would say keep it reasonable, right? If you're going on like a day trip to the beach, I'm pretty sure you could probably still fast.
You
But
have
if you're going on some, sorry, what?
You have to. You can't like
Yeah,
just to
even if when we go to the beach, you say like, oh, we do Gam'an Qas, right? Yeah, but still, it doesn't make sense that you would break your fast just to go to the beach, right? Then at that point, going to the beach, some people might even say is haram. But if you're going on like, yeah, just like Yusuf said, if you're going on a 6-7 hour flight, or if you're flying in general, the difference in time zones makes it difficult, as well as the like the fatigue of going on a plane for such a long time. So
and keep in mind, like traveling now is very different from traveling at the time of the Prophet Muhammad.
Exactly.
Like they would be walking in deserts, on camels for whatever distance, and it'd be pretty hot. Like for nowadays, it's really easy for us to travel. In fact, usually, like it's easier for us to travel than to actually be like wherever we live and just doing normal things that we do every day. Just sitting there all day.
Going on a road trip with the AC on in your car probably doesn't qualify for Siyam exemption.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's a license that you have to be able to break it, but you should be smart about and responsible. And at the end of the day, you have to make it up. So if you you still have to make up that day. So if you think that it's, it doesn't make sense to break it if you're not actually going to be going through difficulty while you're fasting, in my opinion.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Ramadan is very special, and like every day has immense rewards. So just even skipping one day, you have to really it has to be a really, really important reason for you to skip a day of fasting in Ramadan, in my opinion, at least.
Jazakallah khair.
All right, do we got any more questions? Any raised hands? Final words? Questions? Comments?
Going once, going twice.
Sold to the man in the black. All right. So we're about to do the raffle. I got this one. Share screen and okay. So I'm gonna make sure I got everyone that did not already win one. So I got Adam Rogers, Ahmed Talani, Ayan, Faris, Ibrahim Abu Saud, Muhammad Gilliard, Noor Shaheen, Omar Al-Qasabi, Sufyan Maklai, Yaqub Igal, Yasser Igal, Yusuf Raslan, Zakaria Gliza, Ryan Sharif, and Ahmed Hagazi. Please write down your name in the chat if you haven't won and if you're not in the list. Yusuf Raslan, what's up?
How do you say it?
Oh, Rashid says that he won already.
Where is it? Rashid's not in here, is he?
Oh, okay. You're good, Rashid. Yeah, if you guys have already won, your name isn't going to be on here. It's because we want to, give other people opportunities. Let's go ahead and start.
All right, save and update. Let's go. 3, 2, 1. Bismillah.
Not going to be Ryan.
And first winner, Faris Obeidi.
Okay.
Congratulations. You are the first winner.
You know what's funny? He won last week too, but he wasn't here. So
Is he
like
here
he
today?
actually won. Like his name got picked last week too, but he wasn't in
Wait,
there.
he's not here today either.
No,
No, I
Oh
made.
man.
he
Did he
was.
leave? He was. I made sure that they were in there.
He was.
He
That's
must have
crazy.
dropped.
He left again. No, Bettis.
Faris, come on.
That's a L. That's a big L. That's 2 weeks in a row.
All right, so
Dang.
make sure you guys don't leave before we do the raffle,
Yeah, don't leave.
or
Unless
just don't leave at all. That's probably a good one.
God's plan. All right, just remove his name and let's go. Or don't.
It doesn't matter if he gets called again. Adam
Adam
Rogers.
Okay.
Let's go.
Congrats, Adam.
And no, Jafar did not rig it.
Alright.
Next.
Gift card is going to not Ahmed, not Noor, not Sufyan. It's going to
Mohammed
Okay.
Gilliard. I hope I said your name right. Remove from list. Last one.
hold on.
So,
Is Mohammed here? Oh yeah, he is.
does everyone want to put does someone want to write the names in the chat real quick just so we don't forget? And by the way, Yusuf, it's not one off, it's random. So yeah. You may actually not be one off. Ahmed Higazi. Let's go. All right. Yes, it is random. I'm pretty sure you could ask Sadia for her code.
No, it's
And
definitely random.
if you guys think it's rigged, I can write a program to do it myself.
Weighted a little heavier
So-
for the Egyptians. They have a better chance of winning.
Yeah. All right. No, Ibrahim, you didn't really lose. You just didn't win. It's not the same thing.
Anyway,
All
right. So those three of you that won, we will email you guys your gift cards soon, inshallah. Other than that, so our next week is our last. Is it our last? No, we have two more.
No,
Right? We have two
we
more.
have one more, I think.
Either way, okay, we're gonna be here for sure next week. Okay, so Saturday at 6 p.m. inshallah. Like usual, we'll send out an email and everything. But thank you guys for coming. We got less people than last time, but this shows kind of like the group that are consistent, right? That are always coming. So we appreciate you guys coming. May Allah reward you guys, inshallah. And yeah, does anyone else have anything they want to say?
That's all.
Ibrahim, Omar.
I'm good,
right.
alhamdulillah.
Sweet. All
Hey,
right.
Yusuf, no one here is simping.
Anyways, you guys are good to go. Inshallah, we will see you guys next week.
Jazakallah, oh my God, Jazakumullahu khairan.
All right. Wa alaikum al-ba, ya Noor. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.